Good morning. It's April 13th. It's Monday. So here's for another fun-filled week. A few things to tell you about. Okay. One, the number one thing I was seeing last week. You were turning in an assignment, but several of you were just hitting submit and turn in saying, oh, I'm finished with it, but you never had any kind of papers or anything documented with it. Okay. So you have to be able. Thank you for fixing that. So you have to attach something to it, whether it's a picture, whether it's just a Google Doc, however you decide to do it, there has to be something physically attached to it. If it's not, then there's nothing turned in. Okay. So that was the number one issue we saw last week. Um, this week, there is also an incentive. Um, so your parents should have got some emails about it. I don't know full details about it, but if so, every week we go through and we mark, was this student engaged? Okay. So what that means is, did you go through and did you complete all the assignments that were instructed or were given to you? That answer is yes. You are put into a pool each week to win a prize. We don't know what the prize is. Each week may be different. Okay. So what that means is each week a fifth grader will win the prize. Okay. Each grade has their own incentive pool. Okay. So that means each week at least a fifth grader will win. Okay. So there's an incentive plan. There's an incentive program for each week. A fifth grader will win a prize if they have been if they have been engaged on all the assignments given. Okay. Everybody won't win, but at least one fifth grader will. I want to say it's at least two fifth graders each week will. Okay. So make sure you are getting your work done, submitted properly. Okay. So that's where we're going to start. So where I need you right now is page 857 in the book. So if you don't have your book, I'm going to screen share. And that's my background. Okay. So we're going to go to a single page, flip it over. Okay. So all week, we are going to continue with the metric system. Okay. All week, we are going to get into the metric system more and more and more. Okay. That's why I briefly gave you the introduction last Monday. So we know the basics of the metric system. Now we're going to get into much more of the specifics of it. Okay. So that's length, mass, and capacity. Okay. Those are our big three. Today, we're going to start with length. And somebody's chatting me up. It's page 857. Okay. So remember, the metric system is the unit of measurement that a lot of the world uses that we don't. Okay. We use the US standard, everybody else uses the metric. Okay. So that means it's not always going to be perfectly nice, neat, and pretty. Their system really is pretty easy to kind of get through, though. Okay. Remember, all of theirs is base 10. Okay. So literally, each time you go up, it's times 10. But each one isn't just a times 10. Look down at the bottom of the screen. Right here at concepts. Okay. Key concepts in the purple. Those are the four you have to know. You have to know it today. You have to know it tomorrow. You have to know it Wednesday. You have to know it Thursday. Those are the four you have to know. If you know those four, you're golden. You don't have to know anything else. You have to know those four. Okay. So let's go through them before we go back to example 1. 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. Okay. 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So that means it's 1,000 millimeters. Okay. 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. Yeah? So quick run through again, okay? 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. 1 meter equals 100 centimeters or 1,000 millimeters. 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. Okay? That's the whole premise of today. So you're either going to be multiplying by powers of 10 or dividing by powers of 10. That's it. Okay? So let's go back to example 1 now. One of the largest recorded pythons measured was 7.3 meters. What length is the python in centimeters? Okay? So I want to put that in perspective. Remember, in the American standard system, 1 meter is a little bit bigger than a yard. So what that's saying is that snake was like 23 feet long. It's a big old snake. Okay. So basically what you have to do is you have to take 7.3 meters. How many centimeters are in each meter? According to the list below, it's 100. Okay. So that means it's 7.3 times 100. So remember, all this is powers of 10. Okay. Had somebody who raised their hand, so let's go see what's up. RJ, you raised your hand. What's up, buddy? Okay. Well, it sounds like you're gaming, so let's focus in. Okay. So it's powers of 10. So we're multiplying by 100. So literally all we have to do is add zeros on the end. But there's a decimal, right? So one of those zeros, we just slide it over once, and then we add a zero behind it, right? So when we multiply by 10, really all we're doing is moving that decimal over one place to the right, okay? We had to do it by 2, so we move it over 1, 2. So our answer is 730, okay? 730 centimeters. Is everybody okay with that? Does that make sense? Are we understanding that part of it? We've got one answer so far. We good with that? We ready for example 2? Okay. So let's go to example 2 then. So here's example 2. Rashonda has 50 dominoes. Each dominoes is 4 centimeters long. She lined them up from end to end. She wants to know how many meters long the line of dominoes is. Okay. So this is a multi-step question. Okay. So this is multi-step. So the first thing we have to do is we have to multiply the 50 by 4. Okay. Because we have to know how many total centimeters we have. Yes. Yeah. And then what we have to do is we have to divide from centimeters to meters, but we'll get there here in just a second, okay? So, like Joseph said in the chat, 50 times 4 is 200. So all the dominoes lined up from end to end is 200 centimeters, okay? But now what we have to do is we have to divide, because we're going from centimeters, which is a smaller unit, to a meter, which is a bigger unit, okay? We're not talking about Celsius. Why are we talking about temperature? We're not. Okay, so let's stop that. So what we're doing, we have 200 centimeters. Now we have to divide to get to meters. Okay, there is 100 centimeters in a meter. So what we have to do is 200 divided by 100. Okay, so quick logic math. 200 divided by 100 is what? 2. Okay? That's all that process is. Okay? So what I would like to do, I want to give you, let's go with 3 minutes. Okay? I want you to try to complete 1 and 2 on the guided practice down below. Okay? Try to complete 1 and 2 on the guided practice down below. You can type your answers into the chat, but don't send them just yet. You can type them in there, but don't send them just yet. We're going to give everybody about another minute. All right. If you want to, go ahead and send your answers in the chat. Mr. Coleman, I'm coming to you. Keaton, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, got a question for you. Why was your answer to number 1 wrong?
I didn't include the centimeters.
Correct. So what's the total answer?
500 centimeters.
Boom. That's all it is. Nice, quick, and easy, right?
Yes, sir.
Sweet. You know I got to pick on you sometimes. All right. So I picked on him for that because with this, you are specifically talking about measurement, right? These units are so important. If you don't say what unit it is, then you don't know. Because there's a huge difference between a millimeter or a centimeter and a meter, right? So I'm just saying, you've got to be careful with that, okay? You've got to use units. If you don't use the units, you're going to be in a world of trouble, okay? Because each time you don't put a unit, it's points off, okay? So, hey, go back to here real quick. You don't have to write all these crazy things. Literally, millimeters is mm, centimeters are cm, meters m, kilometers km, okay? You don't have to write a novel for the answer. Just boom, quick little, okay? So, do we have any other questions, concerns? Are we ready to go to the next page? Got one answer. Okay. So, this is the page we're going to do. Okay. So, just like we've been doing, we're going to start on number 3 and let's go through 13. Okay. We're going to go 3 through 13. Okay. So if you have any questions, concerns going forward, let me know. But right now, it seems like everybody's feeling pretty confident with this. Okay. So if you have your book, you can go ahead and start on it. If you don't, give me just a second. This video shouldn't take long to upload because it's only been about 15 minutes. Okay. So if there's no other questions, concerns, we're going to go ahead and let y'all turn loose and get after it. Okay. You can't do number 3 right now because right now this is what we're going to do today. If you have other questions, concerns, I'll be back on at 1 to have that follow-up, okay? And then you can do number 3 there. Deal? No, you're good. As always, if you felt confident with it and you're good with it, you always have the opportunity to go ahead and start. The great thing about doing things with video is if you had a question and you didn't see it, you can always go back and rewatch the video, okay? So, last chance. Anybody else have any questions, concerns, anything else before I end it? Okay. Remember, you also have to do your 4 iReady lessons a week or 15 ALEKS. Okay? So please make sure you are doing those. That's a weekly goal. It's not a daily goal. Okay? Yes, it's an option. You don't have to do one or the other. You don't have to do both. Okay? Some people can't get on iReady at home, but they can on ALEKS. So that's why we gave that option. No, I'm not. I'm glad you mentioned that, though. Remember, there is a Spirit Week this week, okay? So there's a Spirit Week this week for online stuff. Please go look at that list. If you haven't seen it yet, we can try to post it here in a little bit, okay? So there's going to be like there's a weekly thing, okay? Should be pretty fun. We would love for y'all to participate. I completely forgot this morning to participate, but I'll fix it here in a little bit, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. And I'm going to stop the video.